Hello, and welcome to the Oberlin-Como Piano Festival Academy presented by the Oberlin Conservatory of Music. My name is Stanislav Ioudenitch, and I'm here with my daughter, Maria Ioudenitch, as we are jointly conducting short interviews with the featured artists of the program. Today we have the great pleasure of speaking with a remarkable artist, wonderful friend, Mr. Dan Sean. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing with us today, Sean.
Hello, Stasik. Hello, Masha. It's really, I like the idea. We say, oh, we are good friends. It's very important. Make music together. We need that.
Thank you.
It's so wonderful to see you again, although sadly not in person. Um, to start us off, we'd love to hear a little bit about the beginning of your musical journey, your personal journey as well. You were born during one of the most difficult times in Vietnam, during the Vietnam War. What do you remember during your childhood, and how was it even possible to join the world of music during that time?
Yes. So this question, yes, many people asked me before, and I say in the short, I was a jungle boy, or a jungle boy, and learn music and go to the to appreciate what the music can bring for the for my life and for the people. So when I was 7, then the war started in north of Vietnam. So we had to evacuate it to the mountain, where I spent 5 years, totally 5 years. So I think 7 years until 12 or something. This is maybe one of the most important uh, learning period for a child. So now I say yes. Maybe the way I learn music, some part is difficult, but sometimes maybe I took a benefit for them that. So from a kind of difficulty, surely concerning about the learning music professionally and how to improve the ability, pianistic and technique and everything is really very limited because yeah, during the mountain period, the question is to survive, not about the play piano. There was no sign of the civilization, even the basic like electricity, water, everything is really primitive, very primitive life. So everything is underground. So piano put there. Why the piano was there? Piano because it's how the music school evacuate from the Hanoi. So I follow my mother. She was a piano teacher there, and then we piano may be the most problem to carry from Hanoi because it's heavy.
The mountains.
So yeah, so it
Don't-
carry like buffalo.
Okay.
And then only a little number of the piano we could move to the mountain, and then, so the student had to share. So when I entered 7 years, so the first class, I had 20 minutes every day to touch the keyboard. We call that it piano, upright piano, but actually half of the keyboard did not make sound because the string is broken.
Oh.
The humidity, the raining, run, and not only that, animal like a mouse love to make the house inside the piano. So after practicing, make sure we have to really block the under the pedal in the upright piano. You know, they have a hole, right? So make sure that no animal can
Oh,
could
of
get.
course. It's unbelievable.
Okay, so it means that from the at that time I have no idea how the piano sound look like because there's no electricity, no way we can hear the real music. But from the other side, in the mountain, I contact. I have a really important contact with the nature, with the humanity. Yeah, so we live not like today where the relationship between student to the school and teacher a bit mostly very much like a business, you know. But at that time we live it like a big family. So we share everything. So we share food, we share our joy, when the moonlight, those that people like a holiday for us. But we share the difficulty, we share the pain, and yeah. So everything is like a big. So emotional side, it's really I think for important for a musician we have this uh, a chance to develop this sensibility. Yeah. So the emotion. Yeah. And, yeah, so then I moved back to Hanoi after the war, and then I was quite lucky guy. So every time I get something happen in my life, so that is suddenly we have one Soviet pianist visit our school in Hanoi, and he all the children play for him, and then somehow he point me, and then he brought me to his class and coached me for 6 months.
Well,
And
Sean, that was my actually question because you have a very close connection to Russia, and that's what you started to say. Would you please continue? How did you wind up studying in Moscow, so we know, and how long you were there, and what happened after?
so this Soviet pianist, his name is Isaac Katz.
That's
Actually, in Soviet Union, he was very well known. Yeah, so it was yeah. So he spent less than 1 year in Hanoi, like a specialist, like an expert. Yeah,
he was
so
living there. He was staying there.
yeah, for almost 1 year.
Oh, I see.
So so not only he what I really owe him very much that he showed me that I have capacity for became a professional pianist, because I was a child. I'm not very sure, and my parents nobody is sure what's come out from this boy, but he feels something, so he changed me totally the program overnight. So I still play like a Ioudenitch, Kabalevsky, concerto, everything is very easy. And suddenly he gave me right away second concerto Rachmaninoff, and then fourth Ballade Chopin, and the Prelude Shostakovich, Amborada, the Gracioso Ravel, and so on. I was shocked. First, I was shocked, but later I was so inspired. I said, oh, it's me that I could do this properly. And then he showed that I was able to do this. I studied with him. And then more important, at that time, to get out from the country, it's very difficult, because not only that we have to have excellent note and score and then audition, but at that time they check your how to say background. If your parent, your grandparent, they did nothing wrong against the government
What side they are, right?
this party, and you see, and I was in blacklist because my father, he was the dissident, political dissident, so he's very anti-government. So I was so quiet that, okay, stay home. There's no hope that I could get out from the country. So this Mr. Isakat showed to everybody that the future we have to really make some exceptional. So let me go out. So he helped me to go out from the country. So yeah, that is really I owe him whole my life, because otherwise I just stay at home. Yeah. And then because Vietnam at that time with Soviet Union, we are big brother, you know, Eastern Europe, and it's the same block, the same system. So each year, Soviet Union gave scholarship for a certain number of the Vietnamese students in every field. So for music, we have, at that year, we have 4 scholarship and only 2 pianists. So, so I was able to get one. And then I remember we took the train, chartered train, because there's no airplane at that time, through the China, and it takes about 3 weeks to arrive to the Moscow. And the middle road, uh, so we stopped in Irkutsk, and make a like a student concert. And that is one very important person from the Minister of the Education Soviet. She was out from music. She did not have no idea, but somehow I play a little bit. After a few months, I did not touch the piano, but they asked me to play, and she liked it. And then we got everything on her hand. She will make the направление. So it means that she will order, you have to go to St. Petersburg, you stay in Moscow, you go to Alma-Ata, you go to Tashkent, to the Odessa. So she decided who and where to go. So she liked me. And then she said, okay, you will stay in Moscow and go back audition in Moscow Conservatory.
Interesting. Wow.
So then when I came to make the audition in Moscow Conservatory, they accepted me because they said, oh, this boy has musicality, exceptional musicality and the potential, but right now his pianistic level is 0.
That's what they say.
It's so deleted because you know what I could learn in Vietnam during the wartime. Yeah, so at that time I was already 19 years old. All my classmates, they are already ready. They are already professional. They are ready, but I'm not. I was not. So I have to catch up. And then that many point I understand. I have to fix many problems pianistically, technique, and then I know that when I was when we are kids, we develop technique, but more like a repeating and mechanic. But when even technique, we can do a lot of the of our mind, of our brain. Yes, so analyze and so make shortcut get to the this is really help and bring hope for everybody that learning piano have no age. Yeah. So then when I struggle to find the solution or something, so that helped for me today to teach other students when they have some problem so that I can understand this problem. Because sometimes concert pianist today and teacher, for many the great musician, the problem not exist for them. And then they have a difficulty to understand the need of the student. And they said, why you cannot do this? Yeah, but when it's so easy for the great musician, they cannot understand that. But I'm struggling during my childhood, so I know what it is. And
Sorry to interrupt. I think it's necessary to mention that you only studied 3 years at the Moscow Conservatory, right?
Until the Chopin competition, only 3 years.
3 years, and you entered and you won immediately this Chopin competition in 1980 in Warsaw. That's incredible.
This is, yeah, I could not understand either. So, but exactly, already during my stay in mountain, the first music, Chopin music came to me. My mom, she played at night in the silence. She played got her favorite Chopin, composer Chopin. So she played a few melody, nocturne or mazurka. Just already I fall in love with this music. Yeah. So then I think relationship with the Chopin is quite special. I did not have any condition for learning generally, but with Chopin, like a miracle. In 1970, so when I was 12 years, during wartime. So my mom, she was invited to Warsaw Chopin competition like a guest. So she brought back full completely music score, recording, and talking about competition. So day and night, I did not have for Mozart, for Beethoven, for any other composer, but I have everything for the Chopin.
Oh.
Yeah, so this somehow it come to my blood, probably. I fall in love with this music. Yeah, then in Moscow, Vladimir Natanson, his direction is romantic. So I learned not only technique, but on how to make phrasing, how make voicing, how make singing, make piano singing, everything that required for play Chopin. This is Vladimir Natanson gave me. Yes. So and then he prepared me for to the Chopin competition.
What would it be the most important message to young pianists
I
from you?
today time and my time is very different. It's impossible to compare. So they have some plus and some minus. Yeah. So the plus today is that uh, especially for the group from the Asia, when we always have a kind of barrier about the culture, East and West, you know. So before it's really looked like a big war, and how we could really get the exchange so that we can understand the it's very hard. My time is that, yeah, but today, you know, thanks to the internet, thanks to the Google,
Everything's open.
YouTube, today the barrier, the one is, it exists very little. Yeah, so not much. So you need not to travel nowhere. You see, you can stay home and you can learn a lot of things. So they did big advances, especially for the Asian group. Because when you want to play the classical music, is of course you have to understand the Western culture, and then beside that, how it doesn't matter how talented you are. So uh, but I think today they have some difficulty. Yes, okay. Now the music information is so rich everywhere, so it's and then you easily get lost in this jungle. So you need a guiding what to hear, what to really learn. Otherwise, you lose time and even go to the wrong direction. Is the first thing. Second thing, um, a kind of my time, the competition participants, the number of participants still limited, yeah. But today, twice, even three times, four times, the bigger. Because at that time, I remember from Asia, all the from Japan, maybe a bit from Hong Kong, Taiwan, uh, Korea, my time, no. Even China, no, you know. But today, if the Asian group is already half of the number of the competition easily. Yeah. So the number of the contestants get more. So it become the make the contest is tougher to win. Yes, for sure. And the and today I think uh, of course it by my experience when I judge in competition, I grow up with that. I remember the first time the first competition I judged in Hamamatsu when I was uh, only 30 something, and I was shocked every time I saw that the reason is not the same vote like I vote.
Like you would wish, yeah.
I get used to that because it's totally normal. Because each jury have their own criteria and taste and everything. So you have to accept one part of that. The for the for the competitions today, I would say the level very high professionally. Yeah, so they all play. They know it's not only technique, but even uh,
Musically, yeah.
exactly the high professional. And then, but the number of the prize is very limited. Only 3, 4, 5, maximum 6. That so if you not play, if you not get anything, it's not mean that you play bad.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, yeah. So many people get depressed, you know. Yeah. So I think that we have to accept the reality that, let's say, if only limited number, but sometimes I can count at least a dozen that play quite very good, but we have only limited number. With the music of the emotion, yeah, we all know the state of the soul that is clearly for this. So before my time, people still struggling to understand the specific Polish character of the Chopin music. When talk about generally about only just only poetic, then it's okay. People do this. But when talk about mazurka, about polonaise, about that, then foreigner very afraid. But today, even today, no problem. I think people understand that. Yeah. So this is in this music. It look like in this competition, in this compose, it look like you look to the mirror. I think the it should be right away the true thing. So it's the who you are. So you show that you cannot wear no mask, no, and especially young people today when go competition, they sometimes they try to do look for the effective thing. Yes, so make it their appearance and performance attractive, and yeah, so I had to look certain thing about the effect, but with this Chopin music, no.
It
I
does.
think that, yeah, no, it's not work in certain type of the music. It's really important to
Definitely.
be effective. Yeah, I agree with that. But did make it Chopin difficult? That no. And also, I think always question how much percent you have to follow the compose design and what we call style. Yeah, yeah, compose style, and how much your own personality that you can put in. And I think some compose, so it kind of proportion. Yes, so some compose let the performer, interpreter have more freedom, and some compose very little. So we all know that Bach really opened the door totally free. He did not really wrote even the
Yeah,
indication,
we're here.
nothing. Yeah, so that it brings the fully the freedom for the player. It's the example like that. But then their composer, I think, I would say too that really be very careful. Is the Mozart and Chopin.
Well, thank you for sharing. It just was really so interesting, amazing, and I really, Maria, do you want to stop? I don't, but but unfortunately we have to, and we will be looking forward to your most inspiring master classes in the conversations with Chopin. And I personally can't wait to see you in person in Oberlin next semester. Hopefully,
Me too.
this online nonsense will be over.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing.
Bye bye, Masha. Bye bye, Stasi.
Thanks so much.
It's so wonderful to started our first session of the festival with you and with such a beautiful music. And I have to say that many things that I really love that what you are doing in this ballad. Very good sound, very nice touch, the sonority, and you have a poetry. You know how to phrasing. You know how to make it the tone, bring out the nuance. That this is we call voicing. This is for Chopin is so important. So this is a kind of you are able to do many things here, and and very sensitive, very sensitive. This is the music of the emotion. So we all need that first of all. Yeah. So, like I said to everybody, so the masterclass is that my duty is saying that thing. Okay. So it's my impression and my idea and so on. And then you consider this and filter at home. You filter. Take whatever you like it. Okay. Yeah. So this, my job, my duty is speak. Okay. So it's not me that you have to do that way. No, no, no. Yeah. But I would love focusing on certain point so that already you have able to make it, especially when the lyric part, when we is really singing and that is really beautiful, very poetic. I would love to uh, go with you of a few points so that we can make the interpretation is convincing, you know, the convincing way. They should have one thing that, of course, when we play always performance, and okay, I have a right to do this. Okay, here's time the Chopin like this, but I have a wish to do that. Of course, we have a freedom to do it. But the question that when it's convincing is that it should base to the first of all, we have to try to analyze the go from the music score so that we can understand the hint. So what Chopin hint that he would love to have here, to have there, right? So right now, I would say some compose allow for the player have more freedom. Let's say some composer can, okay, 50-50%. Yeah, sometimes it's the 80% that even go very far of the player, and then 20% of them, what we call the composer style. But I think that two composers, it really tough to allow too much our personal approach and taste. In the Mozart and Chopin, they two composers. You cannot do something crazy, too personal, you know. Yeah. But now go back to the here. I think the when you started the piece, the introduction, yeah, is so beautiful. Yeah, I think this C major make a kind of, because you started really nice. This this is, I really love the way you started from, as if started from silence, and then you bring the music in that is really nice, especially this C major. I think it kind of serenity, that is nothing that is too much. expressive, I mean that express the term of the intensity. There's no intensity there. Yeah. So then I like the first phrase. And now look at the second one. Because the second one, when this one, yeah, yeah. Then you go exactly the same way like the first time. You go up, you go up, you see, yeah, yeah. And then that is exactly second one, not only because it's written that they have a kind of coming down, but because they have a bass, they have this one. Yeah, that the first time we don't have. First time we go from the right hand and we add it little, so the shape of the phrase totally different. So when we have a bass, so of course, yeah, and I think that it's not only the question, the dynamic that we go down with the second phrase, but the thing that you do very well, I really like it, the rubato. Yeah. So when you make it repeat now, pom 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 pom, you so the four note like that. So only beginning when it started very from the silent to bring in. Then I think that there are no rubato that can allow for this some kind of very even. But the second one, because of the bass, yeah, then allow you slightly added a bit rubato and together with the voicing down. Yeah, so I think yeah, but it not make it very big. Yeah, because
So at the
anyway, it's
beginning,
very
rubato, no rubato at the beginning, and then in the second phrase, when there is the
yeah,
bass, more
because the
rubato.
first phrase is kind of like a rhythmical movement of the piece. We want to know what kind of movement the triplets. Yes, that's it, right. Yeah, so this one is very stable. It should be that way. But then already when we know the rhythmical picture of the piece, yeah, and the second one. It can be, yeah, you see, because and also this one when you started the first note, uh, this first note because it suddenly it's larger and it requires a bit more space, right, to make the sound open. Yeah, then that's why I think require a bit more time at the first note, and then for the compensation you make a bit catch up. Yeah, so that's why I think it's logic. We cannot make it even with the second. That would be very, yeah. You see, music need time. It's like a flower. When you play the touch, it not mean that it's already sound. It makes time to the string vibrated and open. It's like a flower that is open. Yeah. So the sound comes a bit later. After that we touch. Then this chord need a bit booming, yes, a blossom, yes, blooming like a flower. So we need a bit time for the first note, yeah. So that, yeah, only for that, yeah, only, yeah. But then I think we'll be okay. Everything it come down, it's okay. Now, when we see the ritenuto, it's always we tend to be think that like a slow too early, you know. So I think you from the where the indication is there's still a long way come down, yeah, and long way slow down, and the last note we still have a fermato. So that why I suggest that how to make some kind of retinato is more natural. So don't slow down too early. Yeah. So basically for me, yeah, you see, basically for me, yeah. We have a long way to come down. Yeah, so I would like that the kind of slow down movement. Yeah, but anyway, it's very detailed. Question is very detailed. Now, it's free now. the way you play the recording, you play like that. You play quite in tempo and in very sure way. You like yeah. For me, this three note is looking for the tonality. We are not yet found the F minor for the piece. Yes, so only introduction is C major. So then this one, yeah, hesitated where to go, turn left, turn right, yeah, and only finally at the. So we have to do that thing to prepare for the F minor. Yeah, and you see even this, I understand that some case you could be emphasize this one, make it like a resolution. Sometimes can happen like that, but yeah. So sometimes we can do that, but here I think it's not really. We feel only lonely one line, only three notes, no harmony, nothing, and they're very hesitated, you know. They are only the note that is very cannot fix what kind of tonality, yeah. And then and also it written voicing down, you see. Yeah,
Yes.
no.
Does it mean rubato
Yeah.
instead of diminuendo? Maybe.
Yeah, so I think the kind of phrasing, I think now, I think it's more delicate and a little bit, and then we have this. Actually, I feel, personally, I feel these three notes still not in tempo. I think that only from the F minor, only here, where the theme started. Then I think that, okay, we go to the tempo primo, tempo of the piece. But these three notes, do, re, si, for me is, personally, I prefer early 10-bit free rather than already go to the main movement of the piece, you know, because it's still hesitated. Yeah.
And shall I go in tempo from the bass
I think
or
so.
from
I
the
think so. I think
from
this is what I understand, that is when the new theme, the first theme, important theme started and the story started. Yeah, only before introduction or everything is prepared for that. And then the main theme, do, ra, di, do, ra, di. Here they started with the story. Then I think here will be the tonality of the piece and the movement of the piece. But these three notes before that is still the preparation. It's not a part of the main theme, you know? Yeah. So that we don't play tempo, and also we don't play with the character. These three notes in too sure way. Yeah. So that's why I want to think that it's
more like
yeah, getting better. Yeah, getting better. Yeah, many ways to do this three notes. That your own feeling, the timing, but I would prefer a little bit more freedom. Yeah, and then the last note, this one, how to make it a little bit down, easy. So play piano is very primitive way, but I would say we often have two kinds. How we press the key downward, and very much sometimes we release it from the key. Yeah. So when you want to know the accent, because this one, you see, then you release out. Then you never make the accent on that. Yeah. Then it was very easy. Yeah.
so I change the fingering. I use 3-4-2.
You know, I think 3-4-2, the combination 3-4 is not really the best, you know.
So
3-4, they are not very good. I would prefer 2-3-2, 2-3-2.
2-3-2.
Yeah, you see, yeah. I think in the hand we have finger. And the this guy is the most expressive, right? Yeah, you can do very easily. But the worst combination is 3 and 4. We all know that. It's when you need something really in full control, I think it's harder to do this. Yeah.
Yes.
And when it's very sensitive, of course, we try to avoid the thumb and 3, because 3 can be very powerful, but I think the 2 is the most expressive. Yeah. So and here we need really more sensitive. Yeah. So I think that here some kind of thing I would prefer 2, 3, 2. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. 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 I think that in recording you did really beautiful this, because this seems quite funny, but in this final, yeah, totally repeat the same 5 note. But the first time we have a question, and second time is the okay. Yeah, you see, yeah. So the first time we really keep up and long note into quarter note, like a question at the do, right? So we change the way, but in the recording you did beautifully. Yeah.
Yes,
So
I was
very,
thinking about
yeah,
that
yeah.
as
Okay.
well.
So you know what is that? Yeah. And then now the another point that when we talk about the singing, yes. So Chopin did a lot of singing. Then when sometimes you do very well, but now we have a new type of the singing. If we repeating note, yeah. So. So when the 4 note, the repeat of the 4 note, we can voice in different way also, but it never pum 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 that exactly the same touch. Yeah. So yeah, we all know that vocal they change the tone a little bit, and also the especially timing. Yes. So we try to. You did very well. So some when you did, it's so natural, and also yeah. So but sometimes I feel a little bit square before no pom 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 pom. Yeah. So we can go. We can go sometime like that. Go down, or sometimes we go up. Yeah, so depend what you want. And here you can see even they have some contradiction in the upper voice. He make kind of diminuendo, but in the main line he make it up. You see, yeah. So I think maybe the upper diminuendo is applied more for the end. Yeah, so more for that. More for the demand for that. But the main feeling of the music, I think you go up, I think it make more sense, yeah, because you have the phrase would be more proportion.
Mhm.
Yeah, and the yeah, so and we all know that make crescendo is easy, but how to make diminuendo smoothly is it the piano, the problem that often we make accent, you know, so that why very tough to make legato. Then I think this one often that we make, yeah, often and then the yeah, so they how to avoid the accent after the long note. So this is long note. Yeah, so that yeah, so make sure this one don't play downward. When you play downward easily, you make accent, you know? Yeah. 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 So, and sometimes even I try to do the diminuendo some kind of case, not by finger, but by pedal. Yeah, because here we have a full pedal. And then from here we have a full pedal, and then releasing the pedal very slowly. And then it becomes diminuendo, and it's so smooth, you know, because we reduce the resonance diminuendo by the resonance reducing instead of make the action of the finger. When you play the finger, often we make the accent. Yeah, so that, yeah. Can you understand what I mean?
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
So that. Yeah, then exactly. And then yeah, so this group, I call that grouping. Yeah, so sometimes we use the grouping. It means that we group certain number of the note in one jazz of the hand, right? Just for the expression. But sometimes the grouping very sharp for the technical purpose, but it's not here. But I think that when it when the technique, we can talk it later. That I call that grouping, that it's really helpful, very helpful to deal with the technique. Okay, but here for me is the expression. Okay, now the other thing that you play beautiful and poetic. If I look in separately phrase, then it's very beautiful. But when put that thing together so that can consider like a form and structure, then sometimes I feel a little bit I get lost, yeah, or sometimes could be more effective, yeah, especially when you plan a long growing line that it later, especially the second half of the ballad, we have very long growing line go to the coda. You see, so the one line that after that only up and up. So most of the ballad of the Chopin is like that. Beginning seem to be lyric, but then later on it only intensify. Then how we keep a long line, long breath, and then we have maybe have to not sacrifice the detail, but actually we have to use how much the rubato slow down in the process. We have to don't make it too much. Otherwise, you're losing the long line. Yeah, but we'll talk it later. Now, I would beginning first 3 page. We also need to organize because they have a otherwise okay singing everywhere, but finally we don't see the structure clearly. So for me the main theme is and we here already from there we have the first variation of the theme, yeah, and later this ballad has so much I would say in the form very free, but we can see they have many principles of the variation, and it talk about the technical pose, a lot of improvisation. Yeah. So then we have to understand it. This is the point that I think that that a few play you could do a bit more about improvisation because you play so careful, very voicing everything, but where it need a little bit freely, you know, like this one. Kind of purely improvisation or this one. Yeah, so such kind of thing is so we have to print, but if you really carefully do, yeah, you see, yeah, so how to make it natural? Improvisation is me natural that you are. So yeah, so now we go to the.
Each time, Maestro, each time I see in tempo written on the score, I think, oh, I should go back to the. Should go back to this, so. Kind of. Because this was my. Of course, I feel the music going forward in these parts, but also here. I feel the music.
Yeah, you are right. I think that beginning you can start it with that. Yeah, but let's say this one. And then we have to kind of go up, you know. Yeah, the first one still look like stick to the tempo primo, and then and we have a kind of fly of the emotion. That's why you call it romantic, right? Otherwise, it would be like a German way. Yeah. So here we feel right away that way. The first one is low, second is higher, and then wow, the third one is like a lovely. The I cannot say like a tsunami, yeah, but it's so nice. It is so high. Yeah, the feeling of the space. Yeah, so clearly here the question is not the tempo, the question of the perspective. We go to the perspective.
Direction.
Yeah, direction exactly. So happen where it goes. So now, how to be in the beginning, because it's easily the first three page is very monotone. Yeah, so I would say you did it one. You did a bit more the first time. You did very good. So we rate on that there, and then you have to. And then slowly down. Then you bring everything together, especially the third time. This is how so touching, you know. The way you play, you make opposite. You make it a bit more. You make you play appassionato. You know? So
Last time, right before pianissimo.
Yeah, I think the second time, when the second time, make it more convincing, but not the first time. First time for me, the film is so painful. It's like a vulnerable, a fragile funeral, and it's so pain. Yeah, so very pain, and a kind of suffering that it very much. I would say. Confidential, that is very personal. I don't think that it's appassionato there. Yeah, so that is why and then you can be it more impressive and then very touching. Then you bring very long structure, very long form. So the big form is otherwise we don't know. Okay, someone is big, one is small. That it's difficult to follow. But then we fit it one block, and then we go to the first variation with the exactly kind of improvisation, you know. But you did beautifully. This one you did very beautifully. You know? I love your rubato for the first variation. Yeah. So I think this is for the case. Yeah. So they look like that. And you see the first variation tend to be some new element of the improvisation here also. So a kind of it can be more expansion, it's more developed than first time. First time more calm and more quiet, but there's a bit more. Yeah, so then we slowly added the new element. And now this one here is good. Here is good. You created the darkness of the color and the mood. Here I think is good. Now another one here. This one. And then you do for me, you have to go here. And then, okay. Then a failure. So the combination of the conflict is here. Yeah, but suddenly make now. Yeah, so it's kind of very yeah, so you know what I mean. Yeah, so because we feel that, oh, it's so beautiful and it's so expressive, I want to play that, but we have to question why we're doing that, right? Yeah, because the logic can we go up and in return they have to go up, right? Yeah, so then we have I would say would be lovely conflict here. Totally failure. Yeah. Lose, we nothing there. Try hard, try to read something. Oh no, empty hand, go back home. Yeah. So then we have a reason to continue the piece. Otherwise, already the victory and we finish the piece, right? Yeah. And then we have a second variation. Yeah. So basically, it's good. Also, I would love there was. Yeah, it cover whole the page. You see, it the growing line. You see, yeah, slowly, but all the time. Yeah. So for here, I think that you should go further instead of pull back. It's here. To continue, yeah, but don't pull back. Here, then you see, they're losing the way because way here only one way, only one direction, only up and up. Yeah, so that yeah, both the dynamic and also the feeling that we move ahead. Yeah, so that yeah. So for the now this one another famous ritonuto. So again, when you see ritonuto, you make already so slow, then you cannot do what easy to what to do with that. If you play already so you steal the show. They call it steal the show. Then what you do with this part later? Yeah. So it means that when it only we start it slow down, but I think apply more for that. Only here that we can make it really need time and slow down. Now the second one, what I think that it good. Yeah. So what I like that you keep very like a baccarat movement, a bit like that, yeah. Pam 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 pam. That you keep very nice movement with the baccarat, really nice. Here we see the don't chair. Then you play the left pedal. Yeah, yeah. Now you have to compare this one. And this one. Which one should be more intense emotion and intense?
I suppose that it's the mezza voce, because
Exactly.
mezza voce is not sottovoce.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. So I think the first one, because mostly the first one is minor key. Yeah,
Exactly.
F minor, the minor key. And the second one is major. And it's background. And then for me, I feel a bit lighting in the background should be brighter. But the first one is dark. The first one, the F minor, the first thing is so problematic, is suffering, everything is dark. Yeah. So whatever we do with the background, but I would love, so if only the first one I feel very pessimist, but the second one that something positive, something is a little bit brighter, the feeling.
Right.
Maybe bring some hope or something, that is some beauty moment.
Or
Yeah.
more pinky, maybe.
Okay. Yeah. So when we consider about the intensity, this is reflect on the tempo of the movement. When the intensity very much like the first one, everything go with the difficulty. Yeah, da, di, da, very sottoneto. But when it's major key, that di, pa, pa, di, pa, pa. Yeah, so more easy going than the first one, right? So that, yeah. So what I just think that we can pay attention to make the two theme a little bit, consider intensity, emotional intensity, and then lighting. Yeah. So that, and then bring the your idea. So my idea very personal. I feel a little bit more optimist. Yeah.
So you would suggest to maybe lift the left pedal, not to use the left pedal?
Not exactly that. If he was the left pedal, he would say sotto voce or mezzo voce, but he only dolce, Dolce is not mean that you have to use. I don't think that you have to use the left pedal. Yeah. So
Because I just wanted like a timbric change.
exactly. You can change the color. You can change the color. You can change the touch. Yeah. So that.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah. So. Here, I think maybe the deal is more with your own feeling. Yeah, it's not that you have to do exactly what kind of dynamic, but I would love that if you think that is something positive, something bring the hope, then you make it little smile with that rather than cry. Yeah, so that, yeah. Okay, now and then again, it's very nice. On this second film, I love. Okay, so already this one, yeah, already we talk about, yeah, so that we need not to repeat. Now this one, here, if you can listen back the recording. It's wonderful in because pandemic teaching that online everything is so frustrating. We know that. Only one thing I think is really very positive, that we work with the recording, and not only for the teacher, for you, for yourself. So when you record and you listen back, I always said that my best teacher is the recording, because when you play, you involve and everything, you cannot control 100%. But when you with a clear mind and listen that you are recording, you discover many points because you are more objective from the side. You look to that. And if you discover what this thing need to do more, then you correct it instantly. Just only 1 second you can. But if you have a lesson, let's say I'm saying something that, oh, here that you do this, you really? I play so bad. Yeah. So if you know that you have some problem, so I think you would correct it right away, right? So if you rush, then really I rush? No. Yeah, you try to defend for yourself. But when you listen back, then you discover that you check momentum. Okay, so here, pay attention to the balance of the two hands. Yeah, so in the recording, I found that your left hand a bit dominating than right hand, but which one it should be more? I think that it should, exactly, because he make a bit that it kind of delayed. But harmony, you have. Yeah, so delayed. Yeah, but and then they bring the charm for the Chopin, kind of a bit freely like it. Yeah, but I think it should be anyway dominating it by right hand story. You continue saying in the right hand. Yeah. And also, that first thing you add in the right hand. Second thing, avoid, because here again we feel that freely because it kind of delayed harmony technique in the chord technique. Already talk very much about a little bit freely, you know. So avoid the rhythmic square like that. Yeah. So yeah. So I would say then you choose the harmony when. So that one. Some notes should be a little bit more tension required by time, and the other is passing. Yeah. So you decided the timing which kind of rubato you have to do, but we cannot play square, right? Yeah. And then you talk about whole the piece. Tell me which section, which fragment that we feel a bit more happy.
This leggero that it's coming.
Only one play. They're the kind of charming of the dance a little bit. Very short, but only one play. Everywhere I feel it's so either dark or at least beauty, but it's not happy. So happy only this one, very little bit. Then I think you have to very kind of dance of the rhythm. Yeah, so that go back to the dance. Yeah.
Maestro, I have one question, because I've read that Chopin used to begin a trill from the upper note. Chopin used to begin a trill from the upper note. Is it true?
This one,
in general.
this one.
I've read that students of Chopin wrote that he used to start a trill from the upper note.
You are talking about generally, or you talking
generally?
Generally.
Here we find trills in the left.
Yeah, I think the generally is even come. It show a bit is more like a little bit more ornament, a bit nicer. But I think depend on case by case. Sometimes if he really want from the upper note, he would write there. Yeah, you know. Yeah, or he would like, or sometimes he make a. It means a two note. Yeah, sometimes only. So, sometimes that can be case by case, but I think it's started from the higher note. Usually make it quite charming, yeah. But if let's say also depend on the note before and the note after. Mostly the note before, yeah. If they are same note. Let's say but depend on the note before that you decided which one, and also sometimes affirmative character may be not decorated, then go right the very firm like a polonaise or something like that. But when it's charming, it could be starting from the upper case. So I think the case by case. But here, impossible to make it higher note because it's so short, it's so quick note. You have no time to do that.
Yes.
The thing that you know, because here very tempo, it's very fast. then we don't have a time to do. If you care about every note, then you late. So I think make a little bit the first note like only play like that. So that
Very good.
first note,
Very
and
good.
after this, it kind of automatic. Yeah. So exactly. Okay. Yeah. Exactly. A bit like that.
Sure.
So that's same thing. Yeah. If you make a heavy,
Too much.
not bring nothing. So here and also you have a little bit accent. Then we have a first note like an accent when you play like that. Then we feel the charming of the rhythm of the dance. Yeah. So yeah. So I don't think that you have to care all the trend or the go along with that. Now this one. This is because again you think about the tempo primo, then you play like that. You play like that. Yeah, because you think that you have to stick to the tempo primo, or because some technical issues.
No, not technical issues. Because I just wanted like a continuity from the beginning to the end of tempo.
Yeah,
In a certain way.
I think they are very good judgment when the certain type of the music, let's say even Chopin, yeah. But of course, for the classic, for sure, you have to stick very careful with the tempo primo. With that, I agree with that. With a Chopin certain piece, when it like a pearls, they have a pearls, yeah. Or even. You can change the mood, but it's always there. Then you really have to care about that. But here, that's why when we think about the improvisation style, and then you play very seriously with the note by note, then there's no more improvisation, right? Here we have some feeling. So here already when you started the little dance, they're very happy, and then the mood it become cheer up. Yeah, pa, 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 pa. Go with the wind, go with the emotion. You feel happy, go with that, right? Why you have to always control that? Okay, I'm happy, but I have to be sure that I'm not rush. Yeah. So when it and here the exactly feeling of the romantic of the Chopin. Yeah. So certain piece, I agree that you have to keep really the pearls. I call it like a pearls, but here we not talk about the pearls. Yeah. So that and we see right away. It's so freely, so that why. And then you see the happy moment. It's so short, and then get back right away. Get back right away. So so that's why the structure that look like this. So the next one that I already talking about. So this one. It's not only a question of feeling, but started from here. That I think that you keep only one very slowly but growing line go to the coda. Beginning is still not dramatic, but then little later, yeah. But actually, you only started from here. Only here that you started to keep tempo. But I think actually you have to already started a bit deep variation. So I think that you have to do that. Okay. with the one piece like this, we can talk even for whole the week, but we have only 1 hour. It's so pity. Yeah, so then, okay, so you understand what maybe you can apply for the other section, yeah, so that the idea that,
Sure.
like, so not only that, okay, I like you are doing that, but they have some logic, yes, so that you, especially when we play the big piece, question how to build the structure and form more convincing. This is the way, yeah.
In general, more freedom and direction in order to hold the structure together.
Sorry.
I've said that in general, what you told me is to be more free and to give directions in some places in order to hold the structure together, right?
I think they depend on this section, yes, because the ballad has many stable section, like a first theme or second theme, but some like a bit like intermezzo, a kind
Yes,
of
in some
then
places.
a kind
In
of
some
freely,
places,
yeah,
sure.
yeah. But the middle section still not very much about the form. When I'm talking about the second, when here, then you have to keep really only being very long, slowly, but only up and up. This one, yeah. You see, yeah. So this is a feeling that you have to intensify the conflict and then become the dramatic. Yeah. So
Yes.
that. Good luck for you. Okay.
Thank you
Good
very
luck.
much.